I'm Emmanuel and welcome to my workbench and welcome to another Monday mixed hunt. Due to the popularity of my December format, this will be a long format video, just like the other videos in December, where I will be hunting through all of the rolls live on camera, well, live, so to speak, on camera. And but this is a Monday mixed hunt, so I'm resuming hunting. We have Loonies over here, we have nickels, and we have quarters. And so we're going to hunt through these guys and see what we have. We're going to start with the nickels. I'll bring these guys off camera here. And we'll start with roll number 1. Nothing on the ender. Now, just so you know, I do have a little guide that I use off screen, just to remind me what I'm looking for. And we are in 2026. I'm looking for the new 2026, but I have these as a quick reference over here for the nickels, what I'm looking for, that I keep off screen here. But I generally have a good idea what I'm looking for. Now, nickels are the ones that are fun to hunt if you're looking for old coins, because the odds of finding old coins are better in the nickels. So let me look at a quick edge check here. There is an older one here. No, it's just worn. I just made a mess of this, but we do have an American. So let's go ahead and do a quick search through these nickels. All right, we have our first commemorative. This is a 2005 celebration, the 60th anniversary of a Victory in Europe Day, or a VE Day, I believe. And this is our the V nickel from 1945, and it was redone in 2005. I really like this design. Common enough to find. There's actually a second one in the roll here. I have a 1980 that has a double date format, so I'm going to keep that off to the side so that I can scan later. And then we have our first American dime. This is a 2020 Philadelphia. Very, very cool. Roll 2, nothing on the ender. Now, you might see some cuts in this video because I am suffering from the flu. I am much better now. I'm on the last days, but I still have a nasty cough. And my sinuses are all blocked up, so please forgive me if I don't sound like my normal self. All right, roll 2. We have another American. This one is an older one. This one is a 1998 Philadelphia, so our second American in 2 rolls. We have another commemorative. This is the Canada's 150th celebration, 2017. This is a stylized beaver. Very, very cool. These ones are recognizable by the different font used on the back of the coin, plus the different maple leaf over here. Quite common as well. We have a 1964. This is the last year that the laureate portrait was done. So that is a cool find for the board. Let's flip it back to the 1964 side. And another commemorative. This is the Queen's 50th year of reign on the throne. Your eyes are not deceiving you. The date is not on this side. It's on the obverse over here, 1952 to 2002, with the plated composition mark below her bust. Very cool. Quite common enough as well. Nothing in roll number 3. Roll 4. Roll 4. No finds in here, but I wanted to show you 2003. 2003 is the transition year when they went from the crowned bust over here with the P composition mark over to the new uncrowned bust, older bust of the Queen with a P composition mark. Now there is a Winnipeg minted 2003 to look for that has a little W in front of Queen Elizabeth over here, in addition to the P. So I always look at the 2003s for the old crown portrait and for the W in front, but no such luck. Those are NIFCs, and we don't usually, I have never found one. Coin roll hunting. The W mint mark stands for the Winnipeg Mint where they were struck. The Winnipeg Mint strikes Canada's circulation coinage, and whenever they do numismatic coins, they will put the W mint on it. Normally, the mint in Ottawa is the one who produces numismatic collector coins. And so they distinguish the Winnipeg numismatic coins with the W mint mark. Some oldies in this roll, it looks like. Here's another one to look at. All right, lots of stuff to see here. So starting with 1990, 1990 has a variety called the bear belly beaver. This one is showing the starting effects of it. Now, normally, let me grab one here. If you look at the fur on the beaver's belly, let me grab a screwdriver here. If you look right here above its paw, you can see the tufts of hair, and what happened is through dye polishing, those tufts of hair got worn away, and called the bear belly. So this is the first stages. I don't know. I wouldn't call this a bear belly because there's still some few hairs there. But if it's completely bald, that would be a bear belly beaver. Here is another very cruddy looking commemorative for Canada's 125th. This has the double date 1867 to 1992 on the bottom. Here we have a 1977, so there is a variety. They're fairly common, and I can tell by this one it's the raised 7. So if you look at the last 7, you can see that the height of that last 7 is just slightly higher than the 7 next to it. So there's the high 7 and the low 7 variety. Quite common to find. There's no rarity here, but here's our first oldie. 1953, and this is Queen Elizabeth here. Now, I believe 1953, if I look over here, we have the nearly far-leaf variety and the no shoulder fold variety, and you have to look at the letter in day over here. It has the eyes. The eye has the flaring. I can't remember off the top if the one with the flaring is the shoulder fold or the no shoulder fold. So I'll set this aside over here for scoping. I'll put it up here because it is a find. And we have another one with the beveled edges here, 1962. This is going to be another young head over here with the laureate portrait. And finally, we have an American, and this is a 2023 Denver. Very cool. Let me put this one just above, because 2023, the more recent dates, I like to make sure to double check them to see if I have them in my album. This is roll 6. Looks like there's some oldies in here as well. If I can get that one out. There you go. We have another American. And here we are, roll number 6. We have a lot of finds. We have a 1965. Now, 1965, there's a variety here called the large beads variety. That one will be set aside for scoping. I have never found one. They're quite rare to find, so it'll be a great find if I do find one. We have an American 2001 Denver, or is that a Philadelphia? That's a Denver. It's hard to see when I'm looking at the camera here. Through the camera instead of looking with my own eyes. This is a 2006 Philadelphia. We have another American here. We have a 1986 Denver. And finally, a 1996 Philly. Very, very cool. Going to roll 7. Now, I hesitated to do a long form for the nickels because very often the nickels, there's not a lot of varieties to look for. We've basically seen all of the varieties that there are in the modern coins. I don't often find oldies, and the only interesting thing would be to find Americans, and that would have been a boring hunt. But this hunt is not boring at all with the finds that we found. 1996 has the attached 6. All right, 2 1996s that I found. There's an attached 6 version where there is a die chip between the 6 and the D here. There's the near 6 and the far 6, but it's the one with the die chip. So this one clearly, I think this one is the near 6 based on how close that one is. But you want the one with the die chip there. This is the far 6. Roll 8. Two finds on here. We have a 2000 with a P composition mark, and just off camera here, let me just raise the mat here. There's only just under 5 million of these minted, so that is a semi-key date right there. And the other one is an American, and we have ourselves a 1984 Philadelphia. Very cool. Nothing in roll 9. Roll 10. All right. Final roll, lots of stuff to look at. First one here is a 1963 Laureate portrait. We have an American 2013 Philly. We have a 1965 that we're going to go scope at the end of the hunt for the large bead variety. I have another Laureate portrait, 1962 this time. We have, this is another 2000 with the P composition mark, which is just under 5 million minted, so semi-key date. 1964, last year of the Laureate portrait. 1970, if you look over here, 1970, 5.7 million. This was the key date, but it is a slightly higher mintage than the 2000p. And this one is in beautiful condition. I might actually have to, let me set it at the top there. I might actually have to look against my main book. And we have two Americans. This one looks old. I don't see the mint mark on the back, so it's not as that old probably. Well, 1964. No composition mint mark on these. These are all done in Philly, I believe. And 1997 Philadelphia. Very cool. So I'm going to take a little hydration break here for my throat. I'm also going to roll up all of these nickels off screen, and then we'll come back with the quarters next. So little break over here, and I'll be right back. And always remember to mark your rolls after coin roll hunting to give a chance to other coin roll hunters to know, don't bother hunting these. They've already been hunted through. All right, let's go to the quarters next. We'll start with these clear rolls over here. I like them because you can see the Americans easily enough. We got a little older edge over here, but no silvery edges. So let's go ahead and start with this first roll. Roll one, as you know from my December hunts, there's so many commemoratives to see. This is the October commemorative for 1999. Cool. Here is the Golden Jubilee. No date on the side of the caribou here. The date is on the obverse. 1952 to 2002 for the 50th anniversary of, I have two over here, of Queen Elizabeth's reign. There's two more in here as well. There's lots of those. 2011, the bison. This one is all scratched up, but there is a colorized version where the sun is just a shade of green, I believe, for the bison. And finally, an Olympic. This one is the biathlon, an Olympic quarter for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. This one is issued in 2007. Roll two, this one has tape. I hate it when they have tape. It makes it a little bit more challenging to open. Let me see here, where could I cut it off? There you go. And we can see, oh, it has tape. It can't close because there are actually two holders, two coin holders in here. And that's why it can't close. Let me see if I can separate them. There we go. You can't separate them when you have two holders. And we can see right off the bat that we're going to have an American here. So let's set that one aside. All right, we have some more. Let's start with the American one. Here we have a 2007 Big Sky Country, Montana. Philadelphia mint mark. We have another 1999. This is the January 1999. We have a Mountie. Looks like a British Army soldier or a French soldier. Can't make out what's on the other 9, but it forms the number 1999 here with the totem pole being the 1. Very cool. We have a very, very nice 1976. I had to stare at this one. There's a couple of scratches, but I'm going to keep that one aside just off camera here. Well, where can I put it here? Down over here to see if it'll upgrade the one in my book. We have a 2005 commemorating veterans. And finally, another Olympic quarter. This one is sledge hockey for the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, and this is a 2009. Roll 3, another taped roll. This one is not doubled, but we have two. Oh, I got an American edge here. And we have an older edge here, but it's not silvery. But no, it's a Canadian quarter. So let's have a look at what we have. Oh, our American is a 2000 Virginia with a Denver mint mark. We have a 1999 July. Whole bunch of people celebrating. They form a shape of a maple leaf, kind of, and there's a maple leaf in the center there. We have a year 2000 wisdom. Grandpa sharing the wisdom with his grandchild. Very cool. And we have a 1992 provincial quarter. This one is Manitoba, with a double date 1867 to 1992. Awesome. Roll 4. And we have a nickel. I think this is a nickel here, guys. 2013 nickel. Well, we're short. We're short a quarter in this roll. You'd think that with a clear roll, the bank teller would have noticed. All right. We have a wheelchair curling. Now, there is a wheelchair curling. Where is it here? Oh, it's off camera here. There is a version where it's a mule, where instead of this Special Olympics or Paralympics logo, they have the regular Olympics logo. This is not it, unfortunately. Never found one. We have the 150th anniversary of Canada here. This is Hope for a Green Future. There's a colorized version of this coin. We have Golden Moments, men's hockey, ice hockey. Dated 2002, but this coin was produced in 2009 from the 2002 Winter Olympics when Canada won the gold medal. And the one to look for is the colorized version where this planchet was used. So not the planchet, I should say, this die was used. And you can see here that this last two is sitting on top of his leg. It's not dug into his leg. It's not infused into his leg. And there's the colored variety that was struck with this one. That's the one to find. I know that CAD Roll Hunter has found one before, but I have not. I haven't been so lucky. This is a 4-man bobsled, 2008. And finally, we have I think this is the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Jacques Cartier. 1604 to 2004. There's a ring of death on this one. Very cool. More tape on number 5 here. We have a off-colored edge, but it is just a rusty Canadian modern quarter. It is not a silver. I was hoping it was a really grungy, tarnished silver. Should I be so lucky? Let's see, have a look here. It is a 2006, very rusted. Two more commemoratives in this roll. This is the downhill skiing for the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics. This is a 2007, and this is a very cruddy looking 2000 celebrating achievement. Got a rocket here. Very cool. Roll 6, another roll that is taped up. Very sharp edge on this one. Yeah, nothing special. No silvery edges, unfortunately. But we have our first colorized. Our first colorized quarter is the, and this one is in fair condition, this is the Pink Ribbon campaign. And this is a 2006. Yeah, very good condition. I'll probably check this one against the album. I usually don't keep them. They're fairly common, but when I find a good example. 1999, the June, I Love Me a Train on a Coin. Cool. This is the year 2000 Ingenuity. And finally, this is a 1999 December. Very cool. Roll 7. Nothing special on the edges. Nothing on this roll. Now, this is more typical of what I find in my quarter roll hunts when I'm looking for Americans. Compared to my December one, I had so many in December, though as I speak, I am pulling 2 more Americans out of this roll here. But for the month of December, that was really exceptional, finding so many Americans. This is more typical of what a usual hunt will have in terms of Americans. Maybe 3 or 4 American quarters in 10 rolls. Sounds about right for me. All right, let's have a look at what we found in this roll. We have an American Denver Mint marked Maine, 2003. We have another American. This one is an older 1979, the old design. No mint mark on this one? I guess it's a Philadelphia. We have a very nice looking 1982. Which I will set aside to compare against my book. And a second colorized, the 2004, the first colorized coin ever produced. This is quite typical of the condition of the coin for this version of coloring. And we'll put that one up there on the board. Roll 9. We have another American on here from the edge. And is this just a rusted coin? Yeah, it's just a rusted coin. Nothing else jumps out at me. Several more finds over here. The American one is an Edith Kanakaole. This is from the Women's Series 2023P, which I will set aside It's just off camera here, but I will set it aside at the top here just so that I can compare to see if I have it in my book. Cross country skiing for the Winter Olympics 2009. We have a snowboarding 2008. And finally, we have a 1969, which I always check to see if they're magnetic. Ever since 1969s have been found with silver. They're very, very rare. I think like 4 or 5. I don't bother. I check all of them. Doesn't cost me anything to check them. And here is the last roll that is very, very tightly taped shut. There is an American there. At least there's a copper edge. I'm slicing the wrong side, I think. Yeah. There we go. There's definitely a copper edge here. And nothing else jumps out at me. All right, final roll. What do we have? We have a 1980 Philadelphia. Quite beat up. Oops, sorry. Hit the camera. And we have a Mountie. 1973, 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now we want to have the large bust version, but I can tell right off the bat this is the small bust version. 1, there's a lot of detail in the hair, and 2, there's a gap between the beads and the edge of the coin. So this is the common variety. Never found one. And we have a DeSalaberry, War of 1812. And this one is a 2013, a colorized version with the maple leaf being colored down there, is available for this coin as well. So let me go ahead and take another break for hydration, and I'll also take care to roll up these quarters, and we'll be coming back after the break with the Loonies. All right, I'm back, and as always mark your rolls. I even mark the clear rolls. That is done. We can now start with the Loonies. Now let me go check very quickly on my file here on my phone to see if I'm looking for anything particular with the Loonies. Yeah, I'm still looking for 2025. I am still looking for the 2025, so let's hope that there's a 2025 in these rolls. Also looking for the commemoratives, of course. Those are always fun. Let's hope there's a lot of commemoratives in these. But let's get going here. Whoops, I just made a mess of the first roll. Roll number 1. And we have 3 finds in roll number 1. The very first one that we have is the 100th anniversary of the Canadian Navy. I like this coin, a ship in the background. 2 naval officers, or 2 sailors on the front. Very cool. We have a colorized. This is the Anne of Green Gables, 2 million minted for the colorized version. Very cool, 2024. Let's pop that one on top here. Let me have a quick look here off camera. Is the colorized ones is the commemorative ones starting 2020 is when they reduced the mintages. And here we go. We have a 2025, which will be a book filler for my main book. Because according to my spreadsheet here, if it is correct and up to date, I am still missing the 2025. That is awesome. Though it is unlikely. We might find American Sacagawea dollars in here, or the modern American dollars. They're about the same size and weight. It's unlikely, but it's a possibility. Now, if I get a better one, like a nice shiny one like this for the 2025, I'll naturally swap it out. All right, 2010, there is the small beads and large bead variety. So that one I will set aside for scoping after the hunt. We're in roll 3 now. All right, 2 more finds. We have our commemorative over here. This is the Golden Jubilee, 1952 to 2002 for Queen Elizabeth II. And we have another commemorative. This is the 150th anniversary of Canada. And this is the one with the different font on the back over here. But this one is in pretty gross shape. Roll 4. Some really nice ones here. We have a really nice 1987, and the other one is a 1989. So I'll set these aside and compare them against my book because they look almost uncirculated. Roll 5. There we go. Now we have a 2025. This one is in better condition. Let's put that one up there. All right, 3 more to look at. We have a 100th anniversary of the Toronto Maple Leafs, 1917 to 2017. Very cool. We have a 2019 Pride. And a 2010 that we're going to be checking against the in the scope at the end of the hunt to see if it is the rarer variety, the larger bead variety. Roll 6. Two more to look at here. We got a third. This is a really nice 2025. If I don't have one in my main book, I don't have one in my coin roll hunting book. And we have the 1 million minted Oscar Peterson. The non-colorized version minted at 1 million, the colorized version minted at 2 million, and this is a 2022. That is an awesome find. Roll 7. Two more to look at over here. We have, this is the alternate version of the 1992, the 120th anniversary of Canada. We have people celebrating Canada Day over Parliament Hill. And we have what we call a lucky loonie for the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. This is an Inukshuk with the Vancouver 2010, and this one was issued in 2010. This one does not suffer from the large small bead variety as the other 2010 does. Roll 8 in a plastic wrapper. No edge check to do on this one, but we do have a quarter, a 2016 quarter. Maybe I should have done an edge check. That sucks. Down 75 cents. Another commemorative to look at. We are celebrating here in 2016 the 100th anniversary of the woman's right to vote in Canada. Very cool. Roll 9. Two more to have a look at here. We have a very grungy Lucky Looney from 2016. Even says Lucky Looney at the bottom over there. Very cool. And another one. This one is another Lucky Looney. This one is for the 2006 Winter Olympics. Awesome. One more roll to go. I'd like to find some of those Supreme Court Loonies, especially the uncolorized ones. Two final coins to have a look at. We have the commemorative for the United Nations Peacekeepers. This one is from 1995. And finally, another Lucky Looney. This one was issued in 2 years. One for the Summer Olympics and one for the Winter Olympics. I think it's 2010 and 2012. This is for the Summer Olympics. And I think 2010 possibly, or 2014 for the Winter Olympics. But this design was reused for 2 different years. That is awesome. So let me take a little pause here to wrap those up in rolls, and I'll come right back. All right, I am back. Time to mark these rolls. I mark even the Loonies. I know there's no silver, but if somebody is hunting these guys for commemoratives, now that they know that there's no point in searching those. So let's see what we have here. Starting with the Americans, we can go ahead and put all of these nickels away, except for that one nickel that I have to check out. And same thing with these American quarters. I have a separate roll just for my American coinage here. Next, I've upgraded my American women quarters book. So let's see if I have this 2023 Philadelphia Edith Kanakaole. 2023. Oh, it starts over here on the first page. Edith Kanakaole with the Philadelphia mint mark. I was missing the Denver. And this is indeed a Philadelphia. So this one is not a book filler for me. Oops, keep hitting the camera stand here. And the next one is the nickel. So let me get my Jefferson book here. And this one here is a 2023 Philadelphia. And I do have a 2023 Philadelphia, but I think the one that I have here is in better shape. Let's have a look. This one looks a little bit rusty. Yeah, the one that I found is in better condition than this one. So in that one goes. Now let's go to my main book and see if I actually do have that 2025 or if I was missing it. This is my main Canadian dollars book. So I do have the 2025 in the main book, so it must have been just for my coin roll hunting book that I was missing, the 2025. So let's go ahead and grab my coin roll hunting book. And looky here, we do have a 2025. So my spreadsheet was not up to date. And we also have the Anne of Green Gables. And we also have the Oscar Peterson. So these guys here are going back into circulation. These guys here I'm going to be keeping. Let me go ahead and compare the 1987 and 1989 to my main book. I should have done that first while I had the book out. Let's have a look. 87 and 89. I don't think they upgrade. Let me look at the 89 again. Well, yeah, actually the 89 will upgrade. The 89 over here, let me compare with this one here. This one does have a few rust spots on it. But this one does have more pock marks, so I think I'm going to swap them out. But that just leaves my coin roll hunting book to see if... I usually don't go for upgraders, but when I do upgrade, in my main book, I always compare with my coin roll hunting book to see if they will upgrade. So 87 and 89. The 87 looks quite nice, but the 89 will definitely upgrade. So in goes the 89. These two go back into circulation. I have 3 more quarters here that I want to look against my book that I want to see. And then we'll get to these nickels over here. And then scoping is the last thing. So quarters, we have a 76 and an 82. So let's look at the 1976 here. This one looks very nice. Yeah, the one in my book is nicer. It's hard to say, it's hard to believe, but it is much, much nicer. And the 1982, this one will be upgraded. Definitely, the 1982 is upgraded. This one has several scratches on it. This one looks almost pristine. Let's have a very quick look at 2005. I'm pretty sure the 2005 I have is possibly uncirculated. Yeah, this one is uncirculated. So let's compare with the coin roll hunting book, starting with the 1976. This is the one in my coin roll hunting book. Let's compare side to side. I'm going to compare them off screen here. I'm looking off camera here. This is the one that I just found. The one in my book does look better. Yeah, the one in the book that I already had was the better one. And for the 1982, I think this one is heavily circulated. Yeah. This one was, you can see all of the dings on that one. This one will definitely upgrade the one in my book. And finally, this one over here. Now, I think this one is uncirculated as well. So this one does not upgrade either. Finally, so this quarter over here will end up going back into circulation. I put it here as a find because it was a find indeed. The 1970 I am keeping. So let's go get the nickel book and see if these are any book fillers that we have for our nickels. So 1953, we're looking for the 1953 shoulder fold with the near leaf. That's the one that we're missing in here. So that one is going to be one that we're going to scope alongside with these guys over here. Our 63 here is better. Our 62 looks very good. Excellent. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go head over to the scope and scope all of these guys out. And I'll take some pictures if necessary, and I'll be right back to explain if I found anything at all that is interesting. All right, I am back from the scope, and these 2010s, these are the standard variety. The 1964s, 1965s, I should say, are just the standard variety as well. The small bead variety. The 1980 over here did not have the doubling on it as well. The 1953, however, as you can see in this picture, the flaring on the eye shows that this is the no shoulder fold variety. However, this next picture shows that there is a gap between the distance between the leaf and the denticles, which means this is the far variety. It is not the near variety we were looking for, but it is a keeper nonetheless. The last things we need to look for is this 1964. Is there a die crack going through the KG there? And there is not. That's the extra waterline version. And are there marks in front of the queen's mouth or chin called the spitting queen variety? This one does not have it. And this one does not have a die crack or the marks in front of her mouth, which means these are the standard variety 1964s. And that is it for this hunt, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this format. I'm not going to necessarily do this for every single hunt, depending on how much time I have. However, I am doing, I will be alternating most likely going forward between this format and my standard traditional format. So everything else here on the mat is a keeper that I'm going to set aside. And now it's time for the giveaway for the month of January. For this month, I'm giving away 4 quarters. I am giving away the colorized and non-colorized version of the Canadian flag, and the colorized and non-colorized version of the 2017, I believe. The 2015, these are both 2015 poppies as well. So all you have to do to have a chance of winning these 4 quarters is leave a comment down below, and I'll gladly draw your name early next month. Well, if you enjoyed the video, always appreciate your thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click on my video over here to see a playlist of nickel videos, and click on this playlist over here to see a playlist of Looney videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.